Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about plants, not about some kind of animal or fish. I want to talk about my plants. I just got a ton of succulents, which are a certain kind of cactus, and I made some cool kind of fairy gardens, and yeah, I just think they're cool, so I'm going to show you. Okay, so first, I'm going to start off with the bigger fairy garden one. So this one I had already had succulents in, and it was kind of the first one I did. So that's why I planted all the succulents in the same soil, because I figured it'd be fine because I'd been growing some other ones. So like these two white ones, this white one, this big green one, these ones, and this one, and this little one over here had all already been in here. And then the one that I put in my iguana's tank was also in here, but I took it out. So, yeah, so I just added some more in because I got a bunch for my birthday, actually. So I tried to add in a lot that were all kind of similar in the way they were kind of like this one, how this one kind of goes out like that, and like a different one, like not really like that would be this. This one does not. But since there was this one, I added these two new ones down here in, which are, I guess, well, they're the same kind, and yeah, so that was this first one. I put a rock over here, and then I put this big one in because I liked the look of it. And yeah, so now we'll move on to the next one. So next we have this one, which kind of hard to show you here. I'm sorry for the shaky camera, but I'm gonna have to pick it up. So I already had this this normal cactus in here, as you can see right here. It yeah, so I just thought I'd make a fairy garden out of it, and I elevated the back behind it right here, and then I added two kind of bigger things right here, and then one really big one right here. And then there was a bunch of heads, because a lot of these are cuttings. Right, it's kind of hard to see, right there. So I just added all those in like that, and then I have some other two right there. And then I have one in the corner, which the head on it right here was actually like facing that way, but now it's moved up a bunch, which succulents, they grow really slowly. Same with this one. All of these leaves were over here, and now you can see the middle. So they must be growing. I must be doing something right, because they are they're growing, or at least changing the way they were growing. So now I'll move to the next one. So I'll push that out of the way. This one I might also have to pick up. But I had a ton left over after putting them in smaller pots and stuff. So this is where all these went. So I got this piece of wood that goes all the way down to here. And then I have rocks right here. Yeah, and then I have rocks on this side. So on the elevated part, which doesn't really look elevated because there's so many, I have these white ones in the back, which are really cool. And then these are soft feeling. And then I have these kind of vine looking ones with the little bulbs on them. Just kind of wherever there was open. And then these right here aren't doing too well, but I have them kind of on the elevated part. And then there's these, which I like because they're almost like spiky looking. Then I have a different kind of soft one right here, and then another kind of soft one. And yeah, so that's with this one, that's the rest of the big terrarium. I mean the big just saying terrariums, the big fairy gardens. So now we're going to start with, I have 4 little ones that I'll show you. So with this one, this is probably the most I've moved camera on one shot. With this one, I had one of these in the first fairy garden, or I had a few of these plants, so I put one in here because it's kind of similar to this one. So this one doesn't spread out like this. It just goes like up. This one, these two, both like spread out. They're just more like straight. So yeah, so I put them together. There's no really elevation change. I have a piece of bark right here, but that's really it. So now I'll grab another one, and this one does have elevation change right here. So I have this plant, which I think might be one of my favorite succulents because I like the color on it a lot. Then I have two back here that go like this. And the ones that do that normally have, well, they're called hens and chicks because, I'll use this one as an example. There's a bunch of heads coming out, like a bunch of new ones of these coming out of the one plant. And that's why they're called hens and chicks, because there's one main one and then there's a lot of other small ones. So, yeah, so I have a piece of bark kind of blocking dirt. I have a piece of bark right there, blocking the dirt that's for these two plants, and then I have this one kind of down below. Now, I'm gonna have to talk about both these at the same time because I did something kind of cool with these two. So, I gotta get the other one. So these two are kind of opposites, as you might be able to tell. Here, I'm gonna have to, again, moving the camera, something I don't like to do. So this one is the normal, this black pot with a clay pot in it, which has this piece of bark thing kind of taking up room as this. And again, these are kind of like chicks. These are separate heads out of this big one. And then this one also has a head right here. And then there's succulent right there. But then this one I kind of did something. I kind of did the opposite. So down here I have, like I was saying, like the ground cover with the bulbs on them. And then I have these three, which I don't know how well they'll do because, yeah, it was kind of hard to get them in the dirt because there's not very much dirt left with this thing taking up. But then I put some of my favorite succulents out of the batch in here. There's this one, and it's just so different than all the other ones, and it's really squishy. I'm not even sure how this one will grow. The other ones are quite, like, it kind of makes sense, but, like, these just look like, I don't know, like broken rock or something. Then I also really like this one because they look spiky, but it's really not. And it's just kind of so crazy. It reminds me of an aloe vera. And then I just have this big one that needed to be put somewhere. So those are my succulents. Those are what I got. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit different, but have a good day. Bye.